Welcome back to our channel where we break down the biggest issues facing our country today. I'm Max, your host, and today we are diving into a topic that affects millions of Americans: student loans debt. But here is the kicker: while many of us are struggling to pay off those loans that the US government spent over $2 trillion on war in Afghanistan.
You what?
So let's talk about where that money went and what could have been if it had been spent differently. The war in Afghanistan began in 2001, just after the tragic events of 9/11. The initial goal was to dismantle al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban from power, but what started as a mission with a clear objective quickly turned into a 20-year conflict costing American taxpayers over $2 trillion. That money wasn't just spent on combat, it went to everything from military bases and equipment to nation-building efforts that often failed. The sheer scale of this spending is mind-boggling. We are talking about $2 trillion, an amount so large it's hard to even comprehend. Let's break it down. Imagine if instead of spending that money on a war, the government had invested it in something closer to home, like paying off student loans.
That's a great idea. I'm with that.
Currently, Americans owe about $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. That's right, less than what was spent on the war in Afghanistan. If that $2 trillion had been redirected towards student debt, we could have wiped out all student loans and still had money left over for every single graduate, and every single parent with plus loans could have been debt-free. Instead, millions of Americans are burdened by student loans that limit their financial freedom, delaying home purchases, starting families, or even retirement savings. Now, some might argue that the war in Afghanistan was necessary expense, but here is the reality: after 20 years, what do we have to show for it? The Taliban is back in power and Afghanistan is once again in turmoil. Meanwhile, here at home, student debt continues to crush our economy and the dreams of countless young Americans.
Really?
Yeah.
This isn't just about money, it's about priorities. Our government chose to invest in a war that ultimately failed rather than in the future of its own citizens.
Yeah! Yeah! And some of these, and some of almost there, and done. Now let's see how it looks so far. The time.
So what's the takeaway? The next time someone says we can't afford to cancel student debt, remind them that we funded $2 trillion to fight a war halfway around the world. It's time we start asking, what kind of country do we want to be? One that invests in endless wars, or one that invests in its people? Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that dives deep into the issues that matter. And let me know in the comments below, how would your life change if student loans were wiped out tomorrow?